If you're an Indian interested in understanding the politics and people of Bangladesh, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Faham Abdus Salam, and I'm a writer from Bangladesh. I intend to be fair and ask that you be frank. Allow me to present a hypothetical situation to help you better understand Bangladesh. Suppose that the Indian Election Commission is in shambles. What I mean by that is that the entire electoral system has become dysfunctional, such that it cannot act professionally or independently. Consider that it is now entirely controlled by the government, to the extent that government officials worry about sealing 300 ballot papers in half an hour using just two hands. It's a difficult task, yeah. The second consideration in this hypothetical situation is that the running BJP government has become extremely unpopular and cannot even win 50 of the 543 seats in Lok Sabha. All political parties, including Congress, All India Trinamool Congress, and the Samajwadi Party, have made an alliance to boycott the election, as it would be meaningless and people's vote will not be cast or honored. Remember that all major opposition parties have formed this alliance, left and right, which includes Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Okay? Now, in a situation like this, you have an election which should be held after a month or so. Everyone in the country knows this election would be rigged. Here comes the external actors. Imagine in this hypothetical situation, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken visits India. He is enabled by the BJP government tremendously, to the extent that he practically hunts down Mr. Kejriwal, who was hiding in a hospital. Blinken forces Kejriwal to abandon the alliance and participate in the election. Why? It is to give the appearance of a proper election, since, after all, a democracy needs some opposition in a national poll, right? After being cornered, Kejriwal grudgingly participates in the election. However, it is a total travesty, with only 5% Indians voting and 276 seats won by BJP uncontested. The day after the election, America officially declares, we accept the election results. People of India have mandated their new government, and we hope a well-deserved democratic future for India. We congratulate the BJP, of course, and Mr. Kejriwal for upholding the constitution. Now, let me ask you this. How would you view America in a situation like this? As an honorable person, would you view America as an honest arbitrator, a trustworthy partner? Would you feel indignant? I must remind you that this is exactly what happened in Bangladesh in 2013. You just have to swap Ms. Sujata Singh for Antony Blinken and late Hussain Mohammad Ershad for Mr. Kejriwal. Yeah. This is exactly what happened in 2013 before the election in Bangladesh. Every single government institution in Bangladesh, from the judiciary to the election commission, police to military, has become politicized and can no longer act professionally or credibly. One high court judge even publicly stated that he is a sworn politician. Numerous senior public servants almost routinely campaign for the ruling party. They ask vote for Awami League in various elections. Senior police officers publicly say we need to bring Awami League back in power. Between a Supreme Court judge, a secretary in the bureaucracy, and a rickshaw puller, you'd find that the rickshaw puller guy is the least partisan and most honorable, I can guarantee. Now, I ask a simple question. Ask yourself honestly. Does India show respect to its neighbor, to its people? One Bangladeshi writer, Ahmadi Hussain, asked an essential question. Should Bangladesh's democracy remain hostage to India's own security concerns? The complete destruction of government institutions by the Awami League was possible because of India's support. Anyone aware of India's foreign policy towards Bangladesh would know that it can be summed up in just 2 sentences. 1, keep Sheikh Hasina in power as long as she is not too close to China. 2, whatever she does in Bangladesh to Bangladeshi people, it's none of our business. Well, this outlook at best is very, very lazy. It helps none. The biggest scandal of Indian foreign policy towards Bangladesh is that the Bangladeshi people are not in it. It is harmful to both the countries since it's entirely based on professional accolades and feeble assumptions perpetrated by the media. It does not consider the real people from either country. Is this outlook tenable to build a partnership? India's security concerns regarding Bangladesh is legitimate. Any large and populous country would have similar concerns, undoubtedly. But there is a widespread consensus among Bangladeshi actors across the political spectrum that terrorism or exporting violence is not in the interest of Bangladesh. I haven't met anyone important in my life from Bangladesh who thinks Bangladesh should export separatism to India. Look, we are a small country and we simply can't afford to provoke a large one like India. There is no appetite for that in Bangladesh. We have appetite for one thing in Bangladesh, Danda. We want to be corrupt and plunder money from the government. That is the ceiling of our devious aspirations. When you follow Indian media on Bangladesh, you'll notice that illegal Bangladeshis in India and possible security threats are a constant concern. Bangladesh is a poor country, and many people indeed go to India for economic reasons, which doesn't look good, but it is perhaps unavoidable. I request you to be considerate and realize that this situation is not unilateral. Do you know how many Indians work in Bangladesh? Bangladesh is the 4th largest remitter to India, with more than $10 billion sent from Bangladesh to India in 2020. It's challenging to determine the exact number of Indians working in Bangladesh, but I did read somewhere that over 1 million Indian nationals were working in Bangladesh in 2010, and half of them were illegal. Mind you, this number is nowhere close to the actual number today. Please ask your friends in India who have worked in Bangladesh. Were they discriminated for their Hindu or Indian identity? Please ask your friends. I do a lot of criticism of Bangladesh and Bangladeshi society. Some complain that's the raison d'être. For me, I disagree, of course. But one area where our society is perhaps better than India and Pakistan is this. It is not a perfect society for any stretch of imagination. But yes, there is discrimination, poverty. You'd find lawlessness and other malaise of the subcontinent. But Bangladeshis in general are not communal. Bangladeshi educated society can be criticized for corruption and many other things, but generally, they don't approve communal politics. Of course, there are nut jobs, but they were never mainstreamed. You simply won't find politicians or even Islamists gaining approval through anti-Hindu rhetoric. It just doesn't work in that way in here. This reality is hardly ever mentioned in Indian media. Look, I have made videos on the Muslim identity of our people, in Bengali of course. And I have seen comments from Bengali-speaking Indian viewers who view Bangladeshi Muslims through a bizarre lens. They seem to think our only job is to remain Muslim, aspire to become Arab Muslims, and hate Hindus 24 hours a day. Hence, Indian government should be ever vigilant and support a tin-pot dictator because she is tough on Islamists and friendly to Hindus. Well, she is neither tough on Islamists nor friendly to Hindus. She is tough on anyone who opposes her and embarrassingly friendly to thieves and plunderers. I actually feel very sad about it. Because when you put yourself in that kind of mental framework, it is impossible to have a sincere and frank discussion. It becomes almost impossible to convince that Hindustan is large enough for Hindus and Muslims to grow together. It has that space. I genuinely believe that India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh can grow together. Our differences in language or religion do not squeeze that space, but lack of respect and misplaced foreign policies do. Yes, I believe there is that space and we must cherish it. Our children need not to hate each other. Our next door neighbor in Dhaka was a South Indian family. Lovely people. They're in Indonesia now. Whenever they go back home for holidays, they take a break in Dhaka just to meet my mother. The little one spoke fluent Bengali. It never occurred to me that Ananya is Hindu or Indian. To us, she's our child. Hindustan has always been a place of blurred identity. The more you try to make it concrete, the more it becomes unlivable. The loss of Hindustan to accommodate affluent and modern India is the worst thing happened in our lifetime. The innocence is lost. One day you will realize it. It has ruined our way of life. I want you to remember what we do as adults, as professionals, as diplomats, as politicians, have a lasting impact on these children. Are we poisoning their minds just to get a few thousand more votes, a promotion in the bureaucracy, or more viewers in the television? We have filled this place with hateful narratives. It seems that the entire Indian subcontinent is unified by mutual hatred, as if we don't have anything else to do apart from hating the Hindus. We, the Bangladeshis, don't want India to fail. It's in our interest to have a strong relationship with India. We have benefited a lot from India-Bangladesh trade, but so did you. I'll ask you a simple question. Please be honest. Is it honorable to support a tin-pot dictator which is destroying every single institution in Bangladesh just to be in the power? If you believe in incredible India, you must accept that it has to be incredibly magnanimous. Is it magnanimous of you to support a dictator blindly? If you're a young Indian or Bangladeshi, I recommend you to be magnanimous. Everything else has been tried and everything has failed. This is our last hope. You to be not like us and be magnanimous. Thank you.